Hello, World Civ 107, and welcome to the last week, finals week coming up. I'm opening this up a little bit early and putting out the announcement a little bit early because I'm heading to Hong Kong in the morning, and just in case there's something wrong with Wi-Fi or my flight, I just want to have this available to you all. And then as soon as I get into Hong Kong by Tuesday, I'll be focusing on getting everything, all the grades caught up with, and then start grading finals as they come in. So, if you have any issues with your grades or any questions, you should have got a hold of me a long time ago. But okay, right now would be the best time if you are at a state where you need to communicate in any way. We are running out of time, and right now would be a good time if there's anything that we need to address. Because once the finals come in, by next weekend, I'm going to hurry up and I'm going to get these grades sent off to PiratesNet. Okay? So please just look over everything. A lot of times students will ask me, Mr. Pollock, can I still get an A if I don't take the exam? Well, look, here's the thing. I will never answer that question, and I don't encourage people not to take the exam. But if you don't, it doesn't affect me negatively. Look, you can look at your points, and if you decide that you can afford not to take the exam, it doesn't hurt my feelings. But I want you to write to me, go to the exam, and then you write to me and say, Mr. Pollock, I'm not going to take this exam. I'll take a 0, and then I'll put the 0 in, and that'll be that. That's one way that you can approach this. Or you can just take the exam, and then I'll give you the points. You'll see. So that's it for finals week. We covered a lot in this class, but I hope, and I'm certain that you all now realize that the United States is involved in a lot of things in the world. That modern history is something that you can't discuss without the U.S. once the U.S. ends up getting engaged in the world, especially post World War II times. America intervenes a lot in the world. And some people really, really appreciate the role of the United States, and others not so much. In my travels and through my experiences meeting people, it's a very mixed legacy, just from what I experienced talking to people. And so, and with Trump now, so just to say, I kind of covered a lot that was going on during Obama. Well, Trump's definitely doubled down on support for Saudi Arabia. That's remained consistent, and there's still talks about having a war with Iran. Interestingly enough, on the Democratic debates, the questions rarely touch on the question of war or U.S. foreign policy. Just take a notice of that. Yeah, next time you watch, whether it's Republicans or Democrat debates, or just think about if you watch the mainstream news of any channel, do you really ever see foreign policy covered? How the U.S.'s role is being played throughout the world and affecting world history. And you only get a few candidates that address that, and you don't get have media that really creates some sort of like a program and where you can learn about a lot of this. So that's frustrating. Anyhow, I'm hoping that what all of you are now going to do is really try to engage more with the world yourself, and go beyond where media outlets are taking us. As I'm getting ready to leave Hong Kong, I'm saddened. I see that there's 2 mass shootings now, and one with a white supremacist agenda, and there was actually one Gilroy, and that guy had some sort of white nationalist agenda. So then there's that. And I think that this is definitely a good time for Americans to think about. Look, there are problems throughout the world. And what I've realized now is that we take for granted a lot of things that are great in America that we get that other places don't. But I'll tell you this, people also don't get mass shootings all the time. That's not normal. So I'm not going to get involved in the gun debate. All I'm going to tell you is it's not normal. Okay? And people in the world notice and they don't think it's normal. And the reality of a white nationalist or a separatist or this kind of stuff, that's unique to particular parts of the world. And it has a lot to do with, well, what do you think it has a lot to do with? That's something that Americans really need to start to reflect upon, because it's a thing. And anyhow, look, in Bangkok, was it yesterday now? 2 days ago, 6 bombs went off. And then today I just found out that one near me, where I'm staying in Hua Hin, some bomb went off. And they're saying it might be linked to separatists in the south of Thailand, Islamic separatists. There's a lot of Muslims here, by the way, and people don't have any kind of issues like that. But Thailand has this weird historic thing of in the south, and that's a whole nother level. It has also linked geopolitical things more than religion, in my opinion. But this is the state of the world, right? And then I'm going to Hong Kong, and if anybody's been following there, like I've been mentioning, Hong Kong is like on fire. I mean, there's like serious like demonstrations, and some call riots, some counter, some masked men with canes beating people, and it wasn't like that when I was there last. I'm still gonna go. Where do I go in this world, right? Where there's peace, love, and harmony, huh? So, this is what I've been kind of realizing now. What does history show us? History goes like this. And we're all going to die someday, and we're all living. And how do we live? What I feel like right now is that I love life. And what I need to do is, when I see all this craziness, I need to ask, what side of history am I on? What am I contributing to in the world? What about that? And I think that this is a good time for all of you to look at history as something very valuable as you process this world that we live in. Because as history shows, it doesn't just repeat itself. It constantly throws us off and creates situations that no one saw coming. That's the real lesson that I think we should always remind ourselves. And the more that we know ourselves and are grounded within where we're at in our hearts and our minds, when something spontaneous comes up and we get a gut reaction to something, then perhaps we're better equipped to make decisions that we don't regret later on, which is what many societies do when there's times of fear and conflict. You feel me? Much love, y'all. It was great having you in this class, and let's stay in touch. And again, write me right away on any questions or problems as we finish up the semester. Have a great week.